Hey babes, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Brandy. I am the host of the Be Real Babe Show, a spin-off of the Be Real Babe podcast. And today, you guys, we've got an internet insanity segment that is actually absolutely insane. I had a couple other topics I wanted to talk to you guys about. I wanted to catch up on the JonBenet Ramsey case because we talked about it. I wanted to talk about Ruby Frankie because there was an update since I last talked about it. But then I got fucked down a whole rabbit hole on TikTok in the last 24 hours, and I had to pause all of that and talk about this. So yeah, I thought I would bring you guys along with me on this, what turned out I thought was just kind of like a haha, maybe I don't understand that because I'm not into that sexually, but if people are happy about that and they're okay and they're consenting adults, to what the fuck did I actually just watch? I will trigger warn you when things are going to get a little bit gross here. So if you're into learning a little bit more about what fucking rabbit hole I got kicked down on the other side of the world, then stick around to this episode. Okay, I know that was super vague. I'm gonna have to be careful, I think, with my wording here, and I am not going to screen share today at all. I will link the articles and the Reddit threads that I found down below. FYI, a lot of them come with a not safe for work warning on Reddit. So how did this start? So as usual, I was getting my topics ready, and I had two out of three. And I was searching for that third one, and I thought I had a topic, and I actually wanted to dive deeper into it because it actually affects Canada, and it's actually in a town on the other side of Canada that means a lot to me. So I want to dive a little bit deeper and do a little bit more justice for the victim. So I'm going to talk about that on Monday's episode of Keeping Up with Canada. And then looking for my third one actually tumbled me down and put all the other ones on pause, and I wanted to talk about this one. So what started this morning was stumbling across TikTok, as one does in the morning, and I came across a reel talking about an OnlyFans model who was found like completely mangled on the side of the road in Dubai. And just want to preface this whole entire episode that this to me has nothing to necessarily do with where it is, but it's just in this specific location. But I believe this stuff is literally happening all over the world. I feel like when there's places with more money, scarier things like this can happen, just because I find like people that have tons and tons of money sometimes lose a little bit touch of humanity. But reading the comments too, it's just there's a lot of people also from Dubai saying they've never heard of this. Like, I don't think it's a location thing. I think it has to do with how much money people have and how perverted they are. So I do believe that all of this stuff happens around the world. I just want to say that before I get started, because I did see a lot of people that were, hurt in the comments. And I'm not trying to portray that. I just thought this was the wildest thing ever. And being a sheltered stoner Canadian here, I did not, I knew things like this existed, but, Two Girl, One Cup came out when I was 14. I did not watch it. So to me, that was just extreme. So, but then I guess if I think about it now, hearing that 20 years ago, I guess this isn't. Anyways, I'm sputtering. So start on TikTok by hearing about this OnlyFans model that was found. And in the video, they had alluded to something called a Dubai Porta Potty Party. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And why is it what? That's not a thing. Porta potty? I have a friend that's from England, or Ireland, sorry, and I believe they call it a portaloo down there. Maybe I'm wrong, or maybe that's just something she said, but I really didn't think that I was like, I gotta be mishearing that. That can't be right. Porta potty parties. So then, as one does, I went to Reddit. And holy fuck, I fell down a whole rabbit hole there that I'm going to share with you guys. And then, as one does, we go back to TikTok, because Reddit is great. I love Reddit, especially when I'm coming to read this stuff for you guys. But TikTok gives me this huge, full view of what the fuck I just read. And a lot of it was not even in English. So most of these TikToks I've been looking at for the last couple hours aren't even in English. It's really hard to share those things because for listeners, they're not going to be able to really see it or read it. So I'm just going to read some articles relating to this. I wouldn't necessarily say go look this up. I mean, obviously, if you're curious, I definitely look at this. I think this just kind of goes around the whole human trafficking and extortion of all genders, but specifically, I think women get sold these ideas. And I think there's just a larger problem out there of people being exploited for money, I think across the board. And it just makes me really sad. And I just did not know that it was this level. And again, I don't know anything as facts, and I'm just reading what I'm reading, and I'm just gathering information and kind of trying to form opinions. But what I want to relay out of this episode specifically is just be extremely careful who you spend your time with. It was really sad in the comment section specifically about this OnlyFans model, where there's a lot of people in the comments saying that she deserved it. You know what you're getting yourself into, that she knew she was going to be going to one of these parties. Now, I don't know that. I wasn't there. I would never claim to say that. I would never say that someone knew that they were going to experience all of this. Like, at the end of the day, even if it's a consenting adult, I think that no one signs up to have their arms and legs broken and their spine, even though that's not what the official narrative is. That we'll get through that here, that there's a narrative that they're saying that happened to her. And we'll get into the article here in a second. But the comments saying that, you get into this type of work, or because she was an OnlyFans model, like, that you should know. And for me, that's just not it. That's not the message that I personally want to portray in this episode. What I want to portray in this episode is just to be super fucking careful, and nothing is for free. And you'll see where I went from like just being like, oh my gosh, this is really sad. What is this? And again, I'm not saying that this woman was going to do that. Maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. At the end of the day, no one deserves this. And at the end of the day, I just want people, women, men, anybody. It sounds like in this one specific case and situation, it's women, but I'm sure it happens to all sorts of demographics, children, all of that. I just want people to be aware, and nothing is for free. So if anything sounds too good, please just look into it deeper, pause, wait. Like, I think people get enticed with these, like, go away, being taken care of. And it's like, at what cost, right? And if you are okay with that cost, that's great. But if you don't know the person, then sometimes you don't know the lines or the levels that they'll go, right? So what happened? So this is, again, like I said, on TikTok, stumbled across this. OnlyFans model 20 cannot speak after being found on side of the road with broken spine and limbs. I'll link this down below. This is from people. Okay, so what happened? Only models fan 20 cannot speak after being found on the side of the road with broken spine and limbs. Police said the model was injured after falling at a construction site in Dubai, but her family repeatedly disputes this. OnlyFans model Maria Kovalchuk, who has been missing for 10 days, was found severely injured and dumped on the side of the road in Dubai. The 20-year-old had been missing since she told some friends she was invited to a hotel party on March 9th, according to the Daily Mail. Her loved ones became worried when 2 days later the model did not make her scheduled flight from Dubai to Thailand, according to 3 different sources. Maria, who was originally from Ukraine, as per The Sun, was found on March 19th. She was discovered near a Dubai road with several injuries, including a broken spine, multiple broken limbs, per the outlet. Maria was subsequently rushed to the hospital, where she required 4 surgeries. Dubai police had confirmed that the model had been found, telling the outlet that the Ukrainian citizen previously reported missing is currently hospitalized and receiving medical care with her family present. Maria's mother, Anna, told the Daily Mail that her daughter is expected to recover. Anna, who flew from Norway to the UAE city, said that the model is getting medical treatment. Everything will be all right, as per the outlet. As how she sustained her serious injuries, Dubai police said Maria entered a restriction construction site alone and fell from a height. Police also said that officials reached this conclusion following a comprehensive investigation. I guess people tried to reach out to them and they did not answer. Now, okay, let's think about this logically for a second. Young 20-something model. The last that was allegedly heard of her is that her friend said that she was going to a party with 2 model agency types, and the person at the party, the host of the party, said she never showed up. Now, again, I have absolutely no idea what happened. Maybe, there's speculations that maybe she showed up and something bad happened and they're lying about that, allegedly. I'm not saying that. That's what outside world internet is saying. Some saying that something happened to her before then and she was held captive. Something must have happened to her. But she was found with no documents, no phone, no none of those things. So how on earth did she just go missing for 10 days? And then she was found far away from the construction site, but she had felt like, I'm just curious where the story's going here. And again, I don't know anything. I wasn't there. But it seems super interesting. A lot of people are very sus in this. So definitely go have a look for yourself and look up and pray for her. Cause my goodness, like again, the comment section saying that she deserved it, that she got like, that's how, just think about karma and the words that are coming out of your mouth when you say those things. I don't think anybody deserves to be found like that. I think everyone makes mistakes, and I think it's really easy to throw shade at other people's mistakes. You know, we just got to look at what ours is. That's their journey. And sometimes people make bad choices. I've made bad choices in my life, and I am so grateful that nothing bad turned out and I was able to turn my life around. But and I'm not even saying that happened. How do we know that she wasn't just at the party and then got drunk and got kidnapped? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do we know just because some people are claiming online that she was going to one of these parties and she was in Dubai and because she's on OnlyFans? Like, how do people just make that connection? I can understand when you're hearing about all those things that it just lines up and, you know, but maybe she just, I don't know, but like, let's just play devil's advocate here. Maybe she did take off. Maybe she didn't. Maybe she wanted to change her identity or disappear something and then got herself caught up and got herself, I'm just saying, like, you know, I understand people that are saying just because she was in Dubai, just because she was found all broken, boned up and she can't talk and there's still an investigation going on, it doesn't necessarily mean that she was going to one of these things, whether, you know, unless it's been confirmed by her, right? The only people that know what happened are her and the person that hurt her and maybe witnesses. But as for right now, until she talks, we don't know, and everything else is just speculation. But I do find it very strange. And I'm not saying that I think that anybody's like covering it up. I know there's speculation of that. I'm just wanting to take the cautionary tale out of this. There was another, like I said, most of the videos that I were watching today were not in English, so I'm trying my best to relay the stories from what I've seen with the little translations and the, you know, no offense, broken English on some of it. So I'm trying my best, but someone mentioned one of the videos that I was watching, one of the girls said, you know, like for women just to be aware, like Dubai is not like a fashion capital of the world. So if you're called to go there or there's like an all expensive trip and, you know, and I'm not just saying Dubai, I'm talking about like any rich somebody, man, woman, whatever, out of nowhere says they're going to fix your life or help you or come here and have the time of your life and you don't have to pay anything. I think it's fair to say that maybe be very 100% be careful, but maybe don't unless you really know them, because you just don't know what could happen. You know, being away in a different country by yourself is also is a little bit scary. And I'm not trying to, but these things can happen, and then you're not away from people, and even people knew where she was and at the time, and then she went missing. You know, for 10 days. That's a long time. What the fuck happened to her in 10 days? Right? So, okay, so that's that, right? So as I'm watching this, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is so sad. I hope women know this. Like, I hope it wasn't one of those things where she was like given an opportunity and lied to about going there and, you know, maybe them making it big. I'm not sure. Obviously, she was probably doing good on her own, but you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe there was an opportunity that was given to her and, you know, maybe it was just something simple. Maybe it was just like more of an escort thing, right? And just like, you know, on your arm. I don't know if you guys remember watching Office Christmas Party where he just wanted to hire her to like pretend and to be his girlfriend. And she's going around trying to, you know, like you don't really know. You don't know what's happening. You don't know if maybe someone was just lonely or maybe it was absolutely two agents that were modeling agents and they wanted to talk to her and something bad happened to her along the way, right? Like we don't know until we find stuff out. I just want people to be aware and think about these things. Not that she didn't, but being there by herself, going with two guys, like maybe just be careful. Maybe meet places that are, you know, completely public, that, you know, don't go maybe places by yourself. Just thoughts, do whatever the fuck you want, but just be aware. Okay. So then I'm like, okay, now I got to know what the fuck this porta potty thing porta potty. I thought I really wasn't understanding. So then of course, here we go to Reddit. Now it's saying not safe for work. So I will say that, discuss trigger warning. I came across this phenomenon called Dubai Porta Potty while and I'm aware I'm late to this party, okay? I got TikTok in September. Fucking leave me alone. I'm trying my best. There were comments about how a lot of out-of-work actresses and models still manage to stay afloat because of their regular trips to Dubai. These trips are fully sponsored and purely given and take type situation. The comments also mentioned they go for Dubai Porta Potty, so I gave this term a search and came across a lot of material on Reddit Apparently, it's a real thing. Rich people call women to Dubai and do nasty stuff to their bodies, faces, and sometimes even make them eat it. A lot of posts, memes are afloat on Reddit. Never read anything about this anywhere else, though. I also read some post where a girl wrote about her experience with this stuff and how it left her traumatized for life. I don't want to get into more details to spare you the disgust, but feel free to search the term yourself and then don't blame me later. Anyways, while something like this is happening out there, I saw a pattern everywhere. Women are being shown in as the culprits here, as if they want to eat shit, so they invite themselves to such parties. I know that they are participating because they get to do shopping, experience the riches of Dubai, and fully paid holiday and whatnot, but aren't the people who do these things themselves equally to be blamed? Reading about this left me disgusted, but I really want to know what other women think, so please share your opinions. Apologies in advance if this disturbs you. So, like, okay, yeah, like, I just, that wasn't English words, apologies. Again, I don't necessarily believe that, personally, this is what we've seen. I don't think this just happens in Dubai, you guys. So I do agree with the comment. I just wanted to read the comments, a couple comments from there, because I think they're important, because I want to get other people's takes, right? Like I've never had this happen. I've never been invited to these parties. I've seen some pretty gross stuff, you guys, on TikTok. I'm not suggesting going to look at this. I'm just saying it's out there. It's pretty fucked up what you can see on TikTok sometimes. Definitely got deeper and darker as I went on. But I also she added some edits that I wanted to include with this. So she said, these parties are not just kink, right? Like, again, I don't mean to yuck your yum, but if these stories are true, and again, I'm not there, so that's why I'm saying if I'm not disbelieving survivors, I'm just saying as I don't have this as fact. If this is true, like, I don't know, we might have to the point where people are dying. Again, I talked about this about feederism. It's like you can have a kink, but then there's a level where it hurts people, and that's where I draw the line. So these aren't just a sexual kink. These are inhumane ways to show dominance over women. They're power plays, racist, sexist, and absolutely cruel. The women in the story mentioned had shared how she and her friend were treated differently purely because they both belonged to different races, and she was pretty much a virgin at the time. I've read another story where women are invited like a herd and treated worse than animals. Think like human centipede movie scene, and spectators are rich and filthy men around the world, like it's their own version of a sick game. I think about like Squid Games. That's kind of what comes to mind. The reason I share this story here was also because we as women are sometimes naive and unaware of the level of cruelty humans are actually capable of. This is real life. If you think wars are the worst, nope, there's a plenty of filth in the world just waiting for an opportunity, even in the richest and safest parts of the world. I really want my sisters to be aware of this. And again, a lot of people in the comments, some of the comments on this were, this is slut shaming. Women, or if they're consenting, they should be able to do what they want to do, da 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 da. And while I completely agree if you're a consenting adult and you know what you're getting into, again, not my life. I don't meet your maker. I meet my maker. I have to, whatever. But be aware of this, right? Because what I'm going to read to you is pretty fucking intense after this. This is why I'm only having one topic, because we're already going to be a half an hour for sure. But I wanted to dive into this deeper because this was insane. But again, if you go and watch these videos, there's some survivors that have spoken out about it, and it's just fucked. Anyways, again, not thinking this is just in Dubai, this is specifically it, but I wanted to share a counter comment to this, and it wasn't the same post. It was something else. But there was a commenter, it was 4 months ago, that said, first of all, okay, so what was the original post? Has anyone else in the group heard about Dubai Porta Potties? It's basically where wealthy residents of Dubai allegedly offer women citizenship, money, or basically any sort of gift in return for letting them defecate on them. I was wondering if anyone here could share some light on this. Personally, I think it's fake and has been made up of some sort of shock factor trend to try and gain likes. There seems to be a complete lack of evidence of this existing anywhere. I remember one time when I was doing the rounds, trending on Twitter as it does periodically, the only supposed footage I could find on popular scat videos, you find the first page are mostly porn sites. Does anyone have any idea? And someone said, Dubai money is incomprehensible. They have enough diamonds and Rolls Royce, so they want experiences. Middle Eastern men love humiliating women for sexual pleasure. Most of these men are obviously hugely recognizable in their community, so privacy is strict, probably punishable by death. So all in that mind, I 100% believe this is a real thing, and it Honestly, it probably expands well out of Dubai. All places with money, I could see this happening. And I completely agreed. Okay, so I guess we can look at this and say factually, like, yeah, this is true. Like, they have lots of money there. There are men in the world that love humiliating women sexually. And when there's your reputation on the line, people can get a little crazy. When their reputation, people can get a little crazy, right? So I can see that. Because over there, it sounds like cheating is like against the law. It's illegal, I think, to cheat on your wife. Or have sex out of marriage. Sorry, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but it sounds like they're just a little bit more strict about those things there. So, actually, okay, let's just continue. I'll read the response that I wanted to read to you guys just for another thing, because I don't know anything about over there, so I wanted to get both sides here. So, first of all, there's no money in Dubai. Dubai doesn't have money in AEU. Abu Dhabi has it. Those guys, they wouldn't do things things like these in their home country because of the risk that it could get out locally. People talk, hotel staff, drivers, shopping assistants at fancy stores, they all gossip. And they are surrounded by people who know them, other royals, local foreign businessmen who come here to do business with them. So if it gets out, it would spread quickly and relevant locally and ruin the guy's reputation and damage their day-to-day life. Secondly, it's foreign rich guys who come to Dubai and spend money there. All the partying mansions, cars, yachts docked there are foreigners in one way or another. A decent amount of these guys spend a decent amount of their year in Dubai versus visiting regularly. It has the perfect cover as it's being marketed as an international finance and business city while also being a chill tourism city with resorts. So it's the foreigners who hire the girls in Dubai or fly them in there. Because sex outside of marriage is illegal in Dubai, no woman who is in Dubai or wants to keep coming to Dubai will talk about the affair they're having with some Malaysian, Indian, or Pakistan guy in Dubai. It's basically a city of mistresses and side chicks for foreigners. About the scat part, though, it's third, fourth degree rumors. I've never seen anything concrete about it. Though there are a lot of femdom mistresses, dominatrix, who scat full toilet training, so it might actually be in reverse. And then people just kind of like arguing back and forth in the comments section about like whether that's true or not. And again, I've never been there. I'm just reading stuff that I found on the internet. I'm not saying that it happens or not, or that I have facts that I know if it's happening or not. Sorry, my senior lady's here. I don't know if you can see her, but she's playing with the lights. I'm not saying that these are fact or that this actually happens or anything like that. I just want people to know that this could happen and just to be aware, because why couldn't it? We know that shit happens and bad things happen. Shit happens was the wrong thing. So again, when I'm reading this, I'm seeing so far OnlyFans model got hurt in Dubai. Nobody really knows. Some people are alluding that she's going to these parties. Okay, even if she's alluding to doing these parties, and let's just say she got paid for someone to do something nasty on her face, allegedly, and nasty to some people, me specifically. Okay, how does that lead her to being almost dead with broken arms and legs, right? So that's what got me into the darker side of it, that and I, again, don't think this is just local to there. It's just where these stories are coming from. And I guess this was a trend in 2022. So I'm very behind on this trend here. I'm aware. I'm sorry. I try to be up to date, but this shit doesn't come out on Instagram. There was probably like 5 or 6 videos that I had to watch anyways because it was trying to block stuff. And again, and I don't know, I'm just seeing videos of this stuff and reading these things, but I believe that this happens like anywhere across the world. I think this could happen in Canada. This happens in the States. This happens everywhere. I don't think it's just, again, I think that's why people are getting upset. It sounds like a lot of people are saying like, oh, of course in Dubai did it. And I'm just like, what? Like, again, there's disgusting people all over the world. Does it feel like maybe the crazier people are richer and there's a lot of rich people there? Probably. But I don't think that's just my personal opinion. I just think that real crazy rich people that already are mentally unstable or have weird, delirious thoughts do weird things. But okay, so I wanted to read this last one and I'm going to wrap it up because, oh my goodness, I thought this one topic wasn't going to take me this long, but here we are. And this is what blew my mind, you guys, where I went back to TikTok and I was like, okay, so we again started with the OnlyFans model story. Okay. Then we're figuring out what porta potties are. Oh, okay, there's back and forth. So it's like, okay, anybody have an experience? And some of them are so dark I'm not going to share, but this one was, think I could probably get away with saying this on YouTube, but again, here's your trigger warning that the story is going to get fucking crazy. Not my story. I'm just reading it off of Reddit. But here we go. So my ex-friend was a Dubai Porta Potty, but that's a story for another day. Not going to hold you long, but she used the money to buy her man a car for his birthday, and he left her when he found out what she'd done. He still drives the car, though. White bitches have 0.004 morals, I swear. Haha. Okay, so a while back when I was in Costa Rica, I met these white girls who basically were traveling the world. They were fucking wild, but yeah, so the one girl, she's a flight attendant. Let's call her Kate. So Kate was constantly hyping me up about traveling. So one night after the club, we were on the beach with the surf boys. The fucking stories I could tell you about these surf boys. And we're telling wild stories. Kate goes, well, I have the wildest. Bitch, nothing fucking prepared me for the roller coaster Kate was going to take us on. No, and I'm bringing it to you. So Kate proceeded to tell us that there's this underworld of sex traveling. I didn't know this at all, where if you're lucky, some rich guy will invite you on an all expense paid trip so he can just to say he can. Sometimes full-on sex is involved, sometimes not so much. She said she was on a private flight from Canada to France, and one of the dudes took a liking to her and invited her to Dubai right there on the spot. She had to be careful taking his info because she could lose her job fraternizing, but they exchanged numbers anyway. She said he took her out a couple of times in France, and it was nice. He was a perfect gentleman, opening doors, paying for experiences, etc. She said she kissed him, and he was taken aback like he wasn't expecting that, so she thought he would cancel the trip, but he didn't. Mind you, this man was super cute, supposedly, so she was into him too. Anyways, D-Day rolls around, she's boarding her flight in Canada, and he's boarding in LA, and they're going to be meeting in Dubai. She told her boyfriend that she had a small gig over there and was like, no problem. Gross. She said he set her up an amazing room with a view. They met up later after they both got some rest. They did dinner, and he took her back to the hotel and left. She was wondering what the fuck is wrong with this man. Oof, if she only knew. So the next morning he texts her and says, get ready, dress classy, you have an hour. Cool, she gets ready and a car picks her up. It's a long ass ride, but oh well. When she finally gets there, it's a beautiful mansion with no neighbors for literal miles. She walks in and it's a bunch of older dudes milling around milling about with each other and girls her age. She's starting to get the idea. It's a bunny ranch. Don't know what that is, gonna have to look that up. Her host greets her and introduces her around a bit, then asks her to go enjoy herself. She's talking with the girls and some are really nice, but a few of them are really nervous and she just chalks it up to them being newbies. They were not. She said she noticed the men weren't drinking even though there were alcohol everywhere. Most of them were having coffee. At some point in the evening, they all sit down to dinner and she said she'd never eaten that good before. After dinner, they played games and everyone slowly drifted off to bed. She tried to follow her host, but he said no, her room was in the other side of the mansion. Weird. So she passes out, and about 2:30 a.m. there's a soft knock on the door. One of the attendants has come to get her for the games. Games? At 2:30? So she puts on some sweats and went. She said where there had been furniture just hours before, the whole place was empty except for buckets and sex toys. The other girls were standing around too. Some were confused, but the nervous girls were shaking now. Okay, this is where the story gets a little fucking crazy, just FYI. The men came in and the girls were instructed to strip. Hesitantly, they did. She said she watched in horror as a jovial fat German man walked over to a bucket, dropped his pants, took a shit standing over it. He pulled his pants up and walked over to one of the girls and hand-fed her shit. Hand-fed her shit. Like dipped his hand in the bucket, scooped up his shit into this girl's mouth. He looked at her expectantly and she started chewing. So at this point, Kate is fixing to leave and her host lets her know she is stuck there. There are no cars, no one for miles. They took her phone. He tells her if she wanted to opt out, she'd have to find her own way out and miss out on the money. Money? What money? He proceeded to explain the game. As he does, she looks around. The men are smiling, and the girls, well, they're calculating how much they can take. $50K. Last the weekend, and you get $50K each. At this point, the girl chewing starts gagging. The man with the bucket holds it out, and she pukes in it. He grins wide. He sidesteps to the next girl, silently challenging her. Tears in her eyes, she opens her mouth. I'm just going to list off some of the things she said she did or witnessed. One of the girls had the contents in the bucket. I'm not going to say that. Kate ate a solid piece of... Yep. Girls had to slide across the floor on their stomachs, licking it up. And there was human centipede actions. All while actual sex and partner swapping was taking place, mind you. She said that the men would pop laxatives like Molly all weekend so that they had a free flow of shit. The entire weekend they had slept in the filth, and she said she thought the only reason they fed them was so that they'd vomit and increase the nastiness. All while the men went back to their rooms, shower, sleep, and whatever else. Several girls opted out and were allowed to clean up and leave. They got nothing. She said on the final night they were allowed to be sprayed down with the rest of the filth and retired to their rooms. The next morning they were summoned to breakfast, and the men ate and drank and joked like nothing happened all the weekend. Each girl collected their cash. She said while she was getting into her care, the sick man, her host, had the audacity to say, "Hope to see you at the next one." She said when she got back to Canada, she took a work sabbatical and underwent intense therapy because of the sight of anything brown or creamy triggered her. This is where I'm like, is this a true story? Maybe. I don't know. But anyways, she didn't tell her boyfriend about it until a year later, and he promised not to tell anyone what she did, but that he couldn't be with her anymore. He said he was keeping her car, though. It's the least she could do after putting him through that, and she let him keep it. Clearly, she didn't learn her lesson because I met with her while she was doing sex travel again. She did say, though, that she refuses to meet the men anywhere other than the hotel, bar, restaurant, and always has a backup when they go to the rooms. When she was done, the air was still. The silence was deafening. We were all fucking shocked because why would you ever tell that story? I've never spoken to her again. I want y'all to understand. Kate comes from a good home. Had a job that lets her travel for free, made good money at a job, and still did all for some fucking Instagram pictures. Some people are beyond saving Breda? I don't know what that means. Absolutely, if you think you know what they do, example, colleague at work, you will be shocked at what they do to get the results that they get. You can't be doing X and expect to get the same results as someone doing XYZ. Do your thing and trust God to bless you. So pretty much saying, don't be jealous of people's shit because you don't know what kind of shit they had to take, no pun intended, to get that money. Again, a lot of comments saying, oh, all models that go to Dubai do this. No. Oh, all OnlyFans models do this. No. Only Dubai. No. Y'all, there's fucking creeps and disgusting people all over the world. There are people that are constantly going to try and exploit you no matter where you are, no matter what gender you are, no matter who you fuck, no matter what you look like. It does not matter. Everyone is vulnerable at some point or the other. Everyone has moments, their low parts, even just their great ones, and they're thinking they're having a great time in these opportunities, and all of a sudden something happens, right? So it's just, I just want people to be aware. Usually nothing's for free. Take this as a cautionary tale. As mentioned, some of those countries, like if you're invited to model and into like all these fashion things, maybe make sure, like, okay, if you were invited to maybe France, I could understand that, right? Like Fashion Week, Paris Fashion Week, all those things. But as this woman was saying, like Dubai's not really known. I don't know, you guys, I've again never been there, so I don't know, but allegedly it's not really the fashion capital of the world. So just be aware, vet these people, don't go anywhere alone. Make sure you have someone to call that you should be checking in with. Like, I'm sure there's a bunch of things, but I did not know this was a thing. Not that I was planning on going to Dubai by myself or anywhere, or not that I think I'd be invited to these parties, but hey, you never know, right? You never know. Sometimes predators can be good looking. Some of them can look like fucking trolls, right? You just don't know. Some people could be people we know that we don't know at all, that strangers. Sometimes we're the strongest individuals we know, and sometimes we just make bad choices or don't even know that we're making a bad choice, and all of a sudden we're a victim, right? So I think in the comment sections, maybe being a little bit nicer about this OF model that's holding on for life. I don't think that whatever choice she made, she thought that this was going to happen. I think that's absolutely silly. Even if she did know it was one of these parties and maybe high-key just saying I don't know this, that she just thought someone's going to do some things on her face, she could whop it off and leave. Like, we don't know that. Maybe she was truly going to a party and someone intervened. Maybe she did some drugs and was on a drug trip, and maybe she did walk up there and fall down or something, or maybe something bad happened and someone placed her. We don't know, but I think we can all be compassionate and understanding. This is someone's daughter or sister, friend, you know, a girly, like, I don't know, just made me really sad. And so I hope, I'm praying for her. I hope she has a speedy recovery and that nothing happens to her. Yeah, just really hope that this turns out to be a story where she's safe, and then just a cautionary tale. Nothing's for free, guys. Be careful, vet everything. But yeah, I've really noticed that the last 3 episodes have been really, really dark. I am so sorry. I promise next episode I'm going to pause on the dark stuff that I find on the internet, and I think I'm just going to find some like funny stories, maybe some like pranks gone bad, or some like am I the asshole or something like that. That's a little bit lighter. I promise I will bring you some more internet insanity that is a little bit lighter this time. Maybe every 4th episode I'll go a little bit lighter and go back to the fucking crazy and insanity. But as always, guys, remember to like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Don't forget that Monday I keep up with Canada every Monday on YouTube. Then Wednesday, like this episode, we've got Internet Insanity, where I bring you random shit on the internet. And then Fridays on Rumble, Spotify, and Apple. Don't forget about the Be Real Babe podcast, where I interview amazing guests and talk about their life experience so you can be more informed on shit that's going on in the world and other people's lives, so we can be more compassionate, loving, understanding, all of those things. And thanks for being here and being patient. And sorry, this was a kind of gross episode, but I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Until next time, bye.